Alright guys, this is my no bullshit review of Throne and Liberty. I have been playing this game non-stop since the beta launch, but no meme, I've been diving deep into this game to try to figure out what's up with everything. And this game, as you can see, or you've seen online, has some fundamental problems with it. Two of them, namely being the combat. The other thing is the auto farming. The auto farming in this game is a big problem for a lot of people. And I guess I'll start with the combat. Is it as bad as people are saying? The combat in this game, guys, is dog poop, right? It is so unbelievably stiff, and I've played a lot of MMOs. The combat in this game is reminiscent of playing an MMO from like 2004. It honestly reminds me a lot of when I played Aeon as a kid. Aeon was a little bit more fluid, I would actually say, but the combat is, you cannot move when using your skills. But not only that, you cannot move while auto-attacking. It is a tab target system, but you can't move at all. If you do, you will stop attacking. And not only that, it's the movement, right? The movement, like this, when you look at Lineage 2, the movement was a little bit like snappier. The auto attacks were a bit snappier. This, like even this movement, I'm pressing left and right, it's just, you just have to try it for yourself to know at least what I'm talking about, right? You won't understand, I think, until you put your hands behind the keyboard. However, people kept asking me, hey, I've seen you've been playing this game for hours. I played it so much. I don't know. What I did learn, and what's so disappointing, is that there actually are some unique interactions with a lot of your skills. I ended up going with the bow and dagger setup. It's a free weapon-based game, but I went with the bow not only because I like the bow archetype in games, but because the melee experience was so painful that the bow was just the only thing that felt at least somewhat playable. And as I played and unlocked my skills, which it takes a very long time to progress with your skills, which in some ways actually feels good, because it feels extremely rewarding when you get a new skill. And I'll talk about the skill system in a second in terms of how you acquire them. But I got this blue skill, which took me about 12 hours or 14 hours. I got this blue skill. When I got it, I was so excited, and basically this is like my kill shot skill from WoW, or it's my snipe skill, and that was disappointing because the combat could be done so much better. I think innately just changing the ability to auto attack while moving would make the game feel a lot better. Maybe not for bow or range classes, but at least for melee, you should be able to auto attack while moving. As far as the stats go and everything that you would find in the game, very old school, not just in these stats, but having things like, if you can see here, ranged hit, that's an old school thing. You'll miss a lot of your attacks if you're not hit capped. There's some depth in how your accessories go. There's set bonuses early on. All of this is kind of just like, in some ways, trumped by the combat itself. It does improve, but it doesn't change the core element of the stiffness of the combat and the movement. On top of that, there is the auto farming feature that you've seen. And I'll dive more into why this is there in a second, but essentially the way that this actually works and the way that you use this in this offline farm feature is this is something that you will use, when you don't feel like doing a contract quest, which I'll show you in a second, but B, it's there to farm when you're AFK or you're going to like leave, or in some cases go offline. Most of the time when I would use this, I tested it the first day I was playing the game overnight, usually you'll die. And the reason why you'll die is if you're in what you would like to do is find other people in your area that are auto farming, so you can position yourself next to them, so you can literally use them as like, it's like tower defense where they're just teeing off and you're going to be there. They're going to assist you in tagging mobs. But eventually these areas can be flagged for events that will take place. And when that event takes place, it can be a peaceful event where no one can attack each other, or it can be a PvP flagged event where people can kill each other. And when that happens, it's a graveyard out there. So every time I would use this feature, I would maybe get a full level overnight, but every time I would log back in, I'd be dead. But it would get you a full level. The offline feature, which is available, the offline farm feature, if you're in a farm spot, if you get the, at least in this version, the premium pass. The way that this works is it's the same thing as the Astral farm, right? It's just you're not on the game and you get 8 hours per day. but you can still die, right? Like it's like your character's in the game, but your client's off, so you don't have to leave it running on your computer. But the thing is with this system is it's so intertwined with the actual game. I'm level 22, and right now I have this, and I've been told I don't, with these Eastern MMOs, there's so much misinformation out there, and there's not a lot of information out on this game in general, which is why I was excited to play it for the discovery aspect. The shitty part is, what I've been told is that this is for the beta, and so getting to 20 is actually quite fast, but after 20, it slows down like insanely fast. Lineage is one of those genres where it's a long-term grindy progression game, like most Eastern MMOs. But it took me like all day of just farming to get like this much of a level. Okay, the beta goes to 30. And not only that, but you also have this weapon mastery system. And when I was playing this game, I was looking through this system, and what this is like an additional talent tree where you get like different stat bonuses, you get hit, crit. I was going through this system after playing all day. I had earned like 2% into this system by actually playing, and I was like, what's going on? Like, how do you progress through this? Now Mastery 2, so I have one slot selected here. It gives me ranged hit. And also this system is RNG, by the way. It's a scale from 10 to 30. Anyway, when I decided to use the auto farm feature and leaving my game on for like 8 hours to farm, I eventually died when I woke up. I then got like 20 or 30% into it. And I'm like, oh, that's how that works. You need to be using your weapon an insane amount to get progression in this system. The same goes for the XP. So the way that you level in this game, there's actually a lot of great systems, or at least fun systems in the game that are a big part of the reason, why I continued to play, because I found some enjoyment in them. As you can see, there's like no real loading screens. I'm instantly across the map. So they have this thing, which is the contract system. And outside of the MSQ, which the MSQ in this game is actually so good. Like the VO is good, the cutscenes, the intro when you get into the game, like the cinematics. When you get into the game, it's like the first 20 minutes, you're like, yo, this game is sick, right? Because the cinematics are so good, and it continues on throughout the game. If it's windy or not, and you can attack in the direction of the wind. So many things like that, like so many cool, unique things. But all of it just gets absolutely dumpstered on by the fact that there's a auto farm and poor combat system. And I can't begin to express to you guys how bummed I am, because you look at the game, it looks so good. Like visually, it looks so good. And a lot of people are saying online, well, how did this take so long to develop? It's a mobile game ported over to PC, but I really wanted to show you guys something, because I don't think a lot of people are aware of how successful the Lineage franchise is in terms of profit. In 2017, according to this, Lineage M was the highest grossing mobile game in the series, and it generated $4.2 billion in revenue, followed by Lineage 2M at $1.7 billion, and Lineage W won just over $1 billion. And if you look at Diablo 3 at around $40 a copy, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, that's around $1.2 billion, which is like 1/3 of Lineage M, a mobile game, and I can bet you that it took longer to develop Diablo 3, and it probably cost Blizzard a lot more. What I also wanted to show you, the gameplay of this game. If you look at this, this is pretty much... By the way, those weapons exist in Throne and Liberty. I've used them for a bit. So it makes it even more hilarious. But that is pretty much what your farming or auto farm experience and combat experience will look like in this game. And I don't even want to get into the monetization, because honestly, it really goes without saying. It's a free-to-play MMORPG. The current version that I'm playing has pay-to-win-like features for sure, the marketplace and how it works in the exchange. It's very similar to Lost Ark, to be honest, plus some other quality of life stuff. But without saying all of that, if they want to tap into the market for some people that just want to dive into the game and have fun out the gate, they got to adjust those things, because I think this game, honestly, I feel like this game could be good, and I can see where they put a lot of effort into stuff after playing it so much. you know, maybe the trailers and all those things were just to see if people would be interested in this type of a game. You know, let's see if they're open to feedback and can make some changes, because I think the game could make for a lot of fun for some people if they made some adjustments to it. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.